Hello and welcome to the Manufacturers Cup. This is top 16 superstars, round 8 for Oceania. As you see, I qualified 10th in the Ferrari. I've been struggling a bit with this track. I never quite got on the pace that the top guys were driving, but I didn't expect to after, I guess, the first few days of practice. The Ferrari cannot really handle the curbs, or either that or I haven't found a way to drive the car over the curbs and be really aggressive with it. So with the amount of times you gotta hop curbs and jump over them around this track, then it's quite a difficult car to drive, or you can never quite get the raw pace out of it that you can with some of the other cars. But early on, I'm right on the back of Double H, which rather pleased me because Double H is normally a bit faster than me in the Manufacturer series. He does concentrate on it more than I do. So he generally has better pace, but a very good driver. And it turns out he was on mediums at this stage. I didn't know that. I just thought he was a bit slow, and had a good run on him. Tried going around the outside. He took a defensive line into the hairpin. I tried going around the outside. Got to run him into Spoon. Go up the inside. Still, he hangs around the outside really beautifully and maintains that position. I feel that was quite important for him too, because he starts to pull away from here. Lap 2, the mediums and the softs are about on par between us, our two cars anyway. Maybe the softs still have an advantage, but I just could not find a way through. And I was also worried a bit with Conzio right behind me in the Genesis. So just holding the position, trying not to take too much out of the tyres at this stage, and trying to get a run on Double H while not compromising my own lines and losing out to Conzio. So really tense, tight driving at this stage in the race. Well, on lap 1, isn't it? Really intense lap 1 and the following couple of laps. So just a bit further up the field, coming into the end of lap 2. Now we've got the leading pack. You've got Mikosi and Mint up ahead, Monkey, Matt, Psydog and Bass in a very tight battle for third place. Monkey goes defensive into the chicane. Psydog has a wee look around the outside. Couldn't really do much with how Monkey placed his car, so he ends up stuck behind him, going for a run down the main straight. Monkey qualified 3rd, which was a really good effort from him. Really surprised me. I didn't expect him to pop up 3rd in the top 16. But really nicely done by Monkey. Psydog goes down the outside, gets hung out to dry. Well, not really hung out to dry. Couldn't really make a move to the inside because Monkey was there, and Bass just nails him on the inside. Psydog saw him coming, so he left him in the room so he couldn't turn in any further. But Bass really kind of nailed that gap, which was just so tight. Just jump back and watch from Bass's perspective. Now I don't know if he misjudged the speed that these two were going, or this was deliberate, but it was so tight, and that was such a great move. Really impressive. Fluke or not, that was a great move. Really nicely done. Jumping forward to the end of lap 3, we're riding on board with Holland. We've got Monkey, Matt and Car Bass just ahead. The battle continues, which started at the start of this lap really. Psydog unfortunately had a small incident at the hairpin, just ran a bit wide, and so Holland and Kenny Moss got past him. So he's fallen out of favour with this battle. And you just watch Bass and the Subaru just do a bit of a dummy and throws it up the inside. The Subaru being very good on its brakes, so Bass taking advantage of the car's strength and really nailed Monkey into that corner. Did a really good job there. This has really squeezed these 4 cars together now, with Kenny getting a good run. Holland gets a hell of a draft, goes up the inside of both of them. Now they're nearly 4 wide going into turn 1. A small tap, and unfortunately Monkey falls off, gets the short end of the stick on that one, and gets pushed out wide. We'll jump back and have another look because so much goes on. Monkey's trying to draft Bass, goes to the outside of him. Holland with a better draft and a faster car than both, goes up the inside of both. Whoa, it's so tight. It's really unfortunate for Monkey because he qualified third, doing so well. And to get the short end of the stick through that battle, it's just a bit rough. Got Psydog on the back of the... kind of got him back onto the end of that train as well. Through that. We'll just jump back a little bit further this time. And watch how Bass did it. This was actually a really beautiful move. I guess Monkey assumed, because Bass had moved over to the left, Monkey assumes he may not be going for a pass, so he takes normal racing line, and Bass just throws it up, beautifully stops it on the apex. Doesn't quite give Monkey the room on that apex, but gets through it okay. Bit of a slide, bit of a push, but not too bad. And the Subaru really lacks top end speed, so the cars are all over the back of him, plus having the slide out of the chicane doesn't help. And seeing that happen, whew, I guess once again the Subaru's brakes getting Bass out of trouble, being able to brake a bit later into that corner, got him just ahead of Holland. Otherwise it may have been Bass as well onto the grass. But really close, intense racing up the front. Anyway, jumping back to my own race. You see here, I've fallen back away from Double H. At this stage I'd well and truly realised he was on mediums and probably doing 5 laps. If he stayed out, I was going to pit anyway, really. Double H goes a little bit wide, trying to battle with Monkey, who was recovering after his off. You see the Ferrari's rear tyres are really fading away at the end of lap 4. Really have to do a good job of looking after them throughout both stints to get them to last. So at this stage I was hoping for an undercut and to outpace Double H and then hold a position, knowing that he'd probably do a 4-lap stint on soft tyres and just be that much better than me come the end of the race. So end of lap 5 and you see Nick 6 1100. No, what do you say? We'll just call him Double O. Sounds kind of cool. So Double O up ahead, going through for another lap. So he's, I assume, doing a no-stop race at this point. Dinos, who qualified in 4th, was behind and catching quite rapidly. I was holding him about 7 or 8 tenths, but I knew he had a better car and I knew he had better pace than me. And he catches right up here. And so I was worried that Nick was going to hold me up. So at the first opportunity, I try to go past him. I knew it was a risky move, and unfortunately that time it does not pay off at all. So we just jump back. You see I get, obviously with my better tyres, Nick having not stopped, I get a better run out of the second corner. I have a look up the inside. He gives me room, so I assume that he's going to kind of let me by, or you know, he's going to drive sensibly and take the inside line for the right-hander and let me go around the outside. And you know, it's very difficult to go side by side through the S's here, and I know it's a risky move, but I felt I had to try to make it to get Dino's a bit further back and off my back, and give myself a bit of breathing room for when my tyres inevitably go off. We jump on board with Nick. You'll see he takes a wider line, lets me through. He kind of accelerates here, gets in the dirt, and just brakes a bit too late, and just knocks me off. So really annoyed with that. I was aiming for a top 10 finish. I thought top 10 in the Ferrari around here with my current pace was quite good. But obviously that put paid to that. Frustrating, but them's the brakes sometimes. You just can't do much about it, you just got to carry on. So a bit further up the track, just after that incident, still thinking about it, not really concentrating too much, I guess, is my only reason for this one. And I just fall off the track a bit too fast into Spoon, run wide, and as soon as you run wide and Spoon, you're off the track. Very easy to do. And unfortunately I let Brian through. For the past 2 races at Nürburgring and Willow Springs, Brian has been the driver that's finished ahead of me, just the one place ahead of me. And when I qualified 10th and Brian qualified 15th tonight, I was like, not tonight, Brian. I'm not going to lose to you tonight. Turns out I'm going to lose to him tonight. So I have, at this stage, no pace. Not enough pace, not the tyres, to pull Brian back. And he maintains the 2-second gap that he's got currently. So I end up, well, Dino's ends up falling back later on in the race, and I end up coming 13th overall. So not a great race from me. What was quite fun, and was quite a good battle with first Double H, and then what potentially could have been with Dino's. It's kind of all went out the window when I tried to make a risky but I thought reasonable move based on the circumstances. I thought I made the right call, but obviously not. One to learn for next time. Jumping forward to lap 8, we've got Holland chasing Bass down for the final podium position. And Bass, after all his really precise driving early on, just unfortunately gets a bit wide and spoon and goes sideways. Holland got so close to just tapping him there. Would have surprised him at the time. Really nice driving by Holland to avoid that one. Hard on the brakes. That was so close. That was really cool. So just jumping on board with Bass, he would have seen it coming. He would have gone wide, saw where he was, and just waited for that spin. If Holland had tapped him then it would have likely have pushed Bass off and gifted Holland a penalty. But Holland drove really well, avoided him. Shame for Bass. Bass had driven a good race up until that point and was having a heck of a battle with Holland for the final podium spot. So that brings the race to a close, really. I ended up finishing 13th overall after Dino's falls back behind me halfway around this lap for some reason. Nick Mikosi takes out the win, followed by Mint GDR, and finally Dan Holland in 3rd place. So it was a fun race overall. I enjoyed the first half. The first stint was brilliant fun, battling with Double H. I always enjoy battling with him, he's a good driver. Going side by side around a few of those corners. He got the better of me this time, which is well done to him. And what I thought was shaping up to be actually quite a cracker of a last stint. My risky but I thought reasonable at the time. At the time I thought it was a reasonable move to put paid to any top 10 finish and any good battles with Double H and Dino's. So that's it from me. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Or something. I don't even know how to close these out. Cheers for coming along. We'll see you next time.